everybody, and welcome to Gen Friends. I'm your host, Sherry Hudson-Passy from Carolina Girl Genealogy. We've got a special guest, but before I introduce, and you know who it is if you're a relative, raise hand, but before I introduce her, let me introduce my panel. We've got Shelly Murphy. Dr. Shelly Murphy is here, our family tree girl. Hi, Shelly.
Good evening, everybody. So glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here too. And of course, we've got Jenny Hawran from Like Herding Cats Genealogy. Hello, Jenny.
Hello, nice to be here.
Nice for you to be here. We may have one or two people pop in as we're having a crazy night with lots of different genealogy things going on around the country. So people are doing different things tonight. But how excited is everybody watching that we've got season 12 winner, Callie from Team Black. Woohoo! Callie's in the house. Thank you,
I'm
Callie,
so
for
happy to be
coming.
back.
Well, before we start talking about day 4 of season 14 of Relative Race, give us an update. What have you been up to? How's
So
the
I've been up
family?
to, our boys are back in school. So we've got a kid in 4K, a little one in 4K, and one in third grade. And it has just kind of been nonstop all summer. And I'm like, it'll slow down with school, but it's not. So
No, never
a
does.
lot of momming so hard recently. My in-laws were here from the Netherlands. They just
Ah,
left a couple of days ago, but they stayed with us for 3 weeks, and it
oh,
was awesome
fun.
having them here.
Yes.
Update, it did same, pretty much the same in my situation. Aunt Lisa and I are still very, very close.
Yeah.
I see my grandmother, Grandma Phyllis, from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Unfortunately, Aunt Lisa broke her femur this summer, so she has
Oh,
been
no.
out of commission. So
Oh, wow.
yes, I know. She's getting. It sounds like she's getting back on her feet now. She's on
Good.
crutches at least, but
Good.
we're dealing with that right now, and
Yeah.
being like 2 hours apart is just kind of a,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
I have become. This is a very odd connection.
Okay.
I have become close with my. I guess easiest way to describe her is my stepsister.
Oh.
So my biological father's stepdaughter uh,
Uh-huh.
is a year younger than I am, and her and I have connected. He doesn't.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so her and I have connected, and she's a hoot, y'all. It's so much fun.
No
Yes,
wonder y'all connected.
I
So
was
you
going
can.
to say that sounds
she's
like,
a
you know,
hoot. I was like, we have to do, and she has two brothers as well, and they all know about me, and it,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it's all good things cross
Okay.
pollination.
Awesome.
sounds
Yeah.
like a family affair.
It's a
Yes.
very much so, very much so.
Oh, cool. Well, let's start talking about day 4. Before we know it, and we always say this, but before we know it, the season's going to be over. I can't believe we're on day 4.
Goes
Next week
fast.
we'll be halfway done as far as, I mean, we're halfway done really as
I
far as
know.
meeting people. But yeah, so we start out and we've got to remember that Team Red won on day 3. So they gave everybody their choice of what kind of challenge they're going to have. So that's going to be an interesting thing to talk about. We could do the challenge. Um, and and then Team Black is trying to get out of the bottom as we start
They
day
were in the
4.
bottom for 2 weeks in
Two
a row.
weeks, 2 weeks in a
And their team black.
yeah, yeah, I know.
Hmm.
It's scary and hard and
It's heartbreaking to watch, knowing because it
yeah,
was the exact same thing. We went
yeah,
from top to bottom real quick, and it was
yeah,
week 2 and week 3, or day two
yeah,
and day three, excuse me,
yeah.
um, where we just could not get out of that bottom.
Get out of the bottom. Yeah, and I guess too, I would think that it makes doing the challenge even more stressful because
Yeah.
you've got to do a good
Mhm.
job. You got to do a good job. Yes, I like when they're leaving, the different little vignettes they show us about what's going on. How about those puppies for Team
Sweet.
It was so
And she had
adorable.
9 of them, but she only brought 3
9
with her.
French bulldogs, weren't
Yeah,
they? Well,
yeah,
They're
yeah, French
yeah,
bulldogs. They were
yeah.
so cute.
They were very cute. I don't know if I could handle 9 of
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
No.
No, that's
No.
like 9 kids.
Yeah,
No.
well, yeah. Yeah,
No.
exactly like 9 kids. Let's see, what was everybody else doing? Team Black was walking on the beach, which I thought
Mhm.
was really nice, and trying to clear their heads. I thought that was
Yeah.
great.
Mhm.
Team Blue was on the beach too, but for a very different reason than trying to clear.
Right.
Yeah, anybody want to talk about what they were?
Yeah, that was so touching. I mean, Daniel's sister Dina gave him some of their mom's ashes
Yeah,
in a cross and
yeah,
also in a little container.
yeah.
And he was really emotional. I mean,
Oh,
which
yeah,
I understand, of course.
yeah.
And I guess that was her favorite beach, their
Mhm.
mom, and so he released
Yeah,
her into the waves, and
right.
it was
I
just
love what
beautiful.
she said though. I hope it, yeah, no, of course it was this week. I love what she said though. She goes, I didn't know why she was keeping her, why she was keeping that
Mm-hmm.
from her. And now
Mhm.
Yes.
I
And
thought
now she
that was
knows why.
It
Yes.
was just that feeling when you know something, or
Yeah.
it's just like, no, I better hold on this.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
did they know about him?
Probably not. Well, she knew that he'd
You
been
know what I mean?
adopted.
Prior
She
to
knew.
the mom passing?
Yeah. Yeah. They knew. They knew about him.
Okay.
Of course, they
Then
didn't know that they
I
were
would
going to
have
meet
held
them.
on
Yeah.
thinking he could
Maybe one
appear at
day.
any time.
Yeah. That maybe
Yeah.
one day. Yeah. And then, of course, and it was so touching too, because he says, I'm holding my mom,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 That's when you start.
That starts the tears. I mean,
Yes.
and I've told you guys this before. I'm such a baby about this show that the minute the music comes on and the knock goes on the door, I
I know.
lose
yeah.
it. That gets me all
Thank
emotional.
you.
It's true, that knock. I'm like, oh, they're gonna be good, really good
Yeah.
people. It's gonna be a good
Yeah.
show, and it just brings back all the emotion
Yes.
from, past seasons. So anyway, yeah, I'm a real baby about the crying part when it starts.
But
Um,
Callie, my big crier, so
Yes, that's same. Every time that knock on the door happened, you're like, oh, you don't even know what's coming out. You're just
well,
and
like,
it was also your words during your time
exactly, I was gonna
was
say.
thank you for showing up.
Stop.
yeah,
And
Yeah,
it's almost like it's good, but it was heartbreaking
yeah,
to
yeah,
hear that. And then I put Mama Roll comes on and like, oh my God, my child thought, nobody was out there for them. And now
yeah,
all of
yeah,
that stuff. So it was a
absolutely.
yeah,
roller coaster watching you go
Yeah.
through that, but you were so supportive of your brother. So,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I relate back to these teens because I was one that grew up in a family. So
yeah,
I don't know what it is
You're
not to
not
have someone,
right,
right,
right.
not as a child growing up.
right,
So you learn loss later, but didn't
yeah.
know that back.
Yeah, you definitely do.
Yeah.
Did you love Laura and her dad in the car? In that
So
car.
Oh,
sweet.
Oh my gosh, because they're
It
both,
was
she's so
hilarious.
into motorcycles.
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I'm so glad they
That
got the
was
two
awesome.
together with him being ill. I'm so grateful that they
Yeah.
yeah.
got together. So
Yeah.
that's just wonderful. So we did red, we did blue, but oh, we
Green.
talk about everybody. Green did the car, so we went through
Green
everything
Yeah.
did the car.
before they started their journeys. And so of course they get the text and off they go, and there's no more selfies anymore. I wish they'd still do those
I
selfies.
know. I
They're
love those.
fun.
I love the
But I
selfies.
like the things that they're bringing back in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, me too. And
I
so,
like some of the twists too for
and they
this
have to
season.
they have to do some little twists, or it's the same thing every time. And
Yeah.
of course we want to see who they're meeting, but they've got to kind of change it up a little bit. They've got to
Right.
change it. And so they're off going to their different places. Team Black
Yeah.
again makes a wrong turn. I mean, they have a hard time sometimes navigating, but they made it. But I love the video calls that they can do now instead of
Oh,
just the
I
text
love those. Yeah,
messages. Do you love
yeah,
them
Mhm.
too?
yeah.
Yeah, and they were definitely trying to cheer on Team Black,
Mhm.
Mhm.
because their day. So and I love Team Red rapping. I mean, so they started doing it back and
Yeah.
forth. That was
Yes.
Yeah.
so
I
cute.
love that they're showing, yes, I love that they're showing those like more of those like funny campy
Yeah.
moments that happen in the car and happen between
Yes.
different teams. yeah, there was a lot of singing on our season as well. Like,
Mhm.
and it was. I love those moments
Yeah.
Mhm.
because that's what captures what that car is like.
Yes. Exactly. Well, and also helps to capture personalities too. So it helps
Mhm.
us know
Yes,
the teams a little bit
yes,
better, you know?
And especially if the two don't know each other,
Or,
sure.
you're really looking at bonding moments, like Team
right.
Red, they
Exactly.
didn't know each other,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Team Red, Precious and Camille.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad Laura's making it so I can move on
Yay.
Hey,
Team
Laura.
Black.
She made it in.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm
Good thing
glad she's here so we can comment on Black.
on
So,
Team Black. Yeah. And just Laura, just so you know, we've just kind of gotten an update from Callie.
Yeah.
And,
Hello.
and then
Mhm.
we have it just started. They're just starting to race to the challenge. So,
Mhm.
you
Oh,
know,
okay. You're
yeah,
early
so
on.
that's where we are. So the challenge, well, number one, it was better than the pickle challenge from last week.
Oh
Well,
God.
Oh, I know.
Ugh,
Yeah, it's true.
that was
I don't want
awful.
it. Let's not go there. That was
It's
disgusting.
let's
disgusting.
not mention the pickles again. But it was called Four, and so it was a golfing
Yes.
challenge. And remember, this is the one that Team Red chose who did what. The physical, they could either do physical or the mental. And so she chose, and I think she did a really good job. What do you think, Kelly, of choosing who did what?
Oh, absolutely. But I'll tell you what, I think both were hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, harder
I think
than
both were
yeah,
difficult.
I do too. I
Physically
They
and
were fun.
they were
yes,
yeah,
they
yeah,
were
trying
fun.
to
Yeah,
because
they were
physically
fun.
they had to build the little miniature golf
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
But
I know which one I would prefer to do. How about everybody else?
um, I think I'd have rather built it. I think that's
Yeah.
probably what I
Yeah,
would
the
I'm
mental
not
one.
do.
sure if I would have built it. Just not, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I
I
think the
think
other
that
one, go ahead, Laura.
I think the losing the ball on the field would have been very frustrating.
It would have been because,
Yeah.
as Laura said, they had 5 inches of grass and 3 inches of rain or water or something. Their field was
Yeah.
flooded,
Yeah.
and they kept losing the ball. And so, you'd
Yeah.
hit it, and then you had to go find the daggum thing and then get back on track.
Typical golf.
Yeah, typical golf, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I know that was frustrating. Who was it? Jonathan laid down on the ground after they built theirs to see if he could see straight through it. And I thought that is a fabulous idea.
Well, you
Yeah.
notice they didn't come up with the same solution.
No,
No,
they didn't.
everybody was different.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Which I thought
Team Blue totally reorganized the
they
I don't
kept.
know what
Yeah,
to call it, the ground,
Green,
the platform for the
yeah,
cutting
ball
green.
to go through.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I thought, oh, I didn't see anybody else at that point do that,
yeah.
and I didn't know they could alter,
Change
once
it once they'd
that.
started building. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah.
That
But
was
that
really
was
cool.
cool.
And
Yeah.
we talked about this last time. We wondered if they were trying to help Team Black get out of that hole. And I think that's exactly what they were doing, was trying to help Team Black get out of that hole, by giving them
I love everybody, but this is a competition.
yeah. But I think they were just trying to help
And I
them.
want everybody to make it to 9.
And they
Yeah,
will.
but
And they
but there
will.
might be someone they were hoping would go into the last place. That
Yeah,
I mean, it
yeah.
wasn't
Right.
necessarily
Right.
fully
That's what I'm saying.
altruistic.
There's strategies going on
Yeah,
here.
there's strategies going
No
on.
matter what, love
Absolutely.
you all. Each of the
Yep.
teams, we want you to meet your family, but you know what? This is competition, and it's
Exactly.
really about getting to 9 to get to 10.
Yeah, because you're gonna and as Dan said at the end with results is that the more number one places you get and the more advantage you're gonna
You're
get
going
on
to
day
have
10.
something in
And then
day 10.
that poor team that's in
Right.
last place on day 9, they're gonna have issues too. And so it's gonna be
But doesn't mean they can't make it.
doesn't mean
Right.
yeah, exactly. They
I
could
don't know
pull
what it means actually. So
That's
So
true.
depending on
Again, we don't
whatever
know
it
what it
is in
means.
day
don't actually
10,
even know what
that
it
person that's
Yeah.
been in last place could be the one that's beating everybody. That would
True.
be interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah,
They'll
exactly.
change that for next
And
season.
as Callie just said with Dan, you never know what anything means, right?
Oh, you don't.
No, but I think the same thing. I was wondering too, like, what if someone won 5 different days?
Yeah.
So they had a lot of first places,
Yeah.
but on day 9, they ended up last.
Last.
And he says the more first place, the better.
Yeah.
But so how are they going to do that?
Who knows? Who
Well,
knows?
we'll see how it goes, and then we'll
On day
make sure
10.
we
That's
give
right. We'll see on
feedback.
day 10 how it goes. And then
Yeah,
we'll go,
and we'll give
Oh.
feedback.
Right.
we'll go, oh, that's what they meant, right?
Well, we don't
It
necessarily
wasn't it? Did it? Haven't they said something about? I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the times now. That the overall times will matter at the end.
Yes.
I think they said that too. I think you're
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So maybe we should.
Which makes a lot of sense too,
Yeah.
because sometimes day 10 ends up and it just, I don't know, it feels kind of unfair. Do you know what I mean? It feels kind of like, wait a second. All these challenges on day 10 really are for people who are more physically fit, or they might be, you know what I mean? And I know that
Right.
they don't, yeah. And so maybe this is the way to try to even those kind of things out.
Well, day
So that,
10.
so that all the
probably
fans on
should be a
Facebook are
clean
going, that wasn't
slate.
fair.
Right.
Yeah. But day 10, if all 4 teams are there,
Well,
as
they
far as I'm
have to be.
concerned, everything starts over and everybody should be on, be
Right.
on even
Yeah.
Steven just for
Right.
day 10.
Yeah.
If you make it to day 10, everybody is there.
All
So
bets
that
are
means
off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bets are off, but it doesn't sound like that's what's going to happen.
no, not yet.
Right. Yeah,
Not yet.
not yet. That's true. That's true. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. So
Not yet.
let's start talking about they get their family members' addresses and
Where they're going.
where they're going. And of course, Jonathan says, I think it was Jonathan that said, or Daniel, one of the two. Somebody on Blue Team says nobody in this town knows where anybody lives.
Yeah, in Alabama, no one knows where they live.
Oh, Bill.
Yeah,
Nobody knows where they live.
exactly.
That's so funny.
Exactly.
But it was interesting because I imagine, because that's kind of not uncommon from season to season.
No, it's not.
You pull in a town and you've got these 2 people running up. But what's shocking is, like, the gas stations don't know, but not everybody at a gas station knows what's around them. So
and they may have just stopped. They may be from somewhere else. But did you notice that Camille and Precious said we've learned not to go into the gas station, but ask
it's the
people
people outside.
that are better at giving directions. So
Yeah, I would find the fire station or the
if you
police
could, or something like
That's
that. Or
where I
those
would
mail people,
or
so that
ambulances.
always,
Yeah. A postal worker. We can't go into like
Yeah.
a firehouse or, well, that's not true. They did whatever. I'm not even going to talk about it because I was upset about it. We were told we couldn't go into a police station, firehouse,
Right.
anything that's going to be disruptive,
Yeah.
for obvious reasons.
For obvious reason. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for obvious reasons, but like post offices, postal workers,
Yeah.
all fair game, or like honestly, old people
Mhm.
and like old people. I'm awful. I'm terrible.
Yes, you are. That was
we're deeply offended.
Our seniors, our beloved seniors.
Yes.
There we go. They know everything.
Yeah.
And
But Amazon, Domino's.
yeah,
Where they have to deliver, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
I had an instant, I felt like I was on Relative Race. I was supposed to go to this interfaith luncheon, and it was a new church that was in a new building. And I got to the address, and it's a complex. And I can't figure out which of these buildings I'm supposed to go in. And I stopped the postal worker. And I said, which one of these is the church? He's like, don't look at me. It's my first day on this route.
Oh,
I'm like, thank God I'm not trying to win $50,000. Worthless.
Right.
Now you know how the
That's
teams
funny.
feel.
Yeah.
Vic found somebody in a car though that helped him. He just went
Uh-huh.
up to a car and that person helped him. So
Has anybody this season been in the local? Was it Team Red? Is New Orleans her hometown?
yes,
Baton Rouge.
Baton
was.
Rouge.
Baton Rouge.
Baton
And
Rouge
I
was.
just
That's why they
wondered.
switched drivers last week.
Yes. because Red was going New Orleans,
Yeah.
NOLA,
No,
you know,
New Orleans, gotta say it right or else you get in trouble.
Yeah.
NOLA.
No,
Yeah.
I was trying not to get, offend
Yeah.
anybody. NOLA, NOLA. But because when they got there, and I thought about that, and I said, wait a minute, wait. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna have to go watch, go back to the first the first episode because I keep thinking, wait, they're still in Louisiana. Because it seems like this season everything seems to be very calculated. The space is where everybody's going. So nobody's flying off. Everybody's under
Except for-
2 hours.
Except for Team Black, day one, they had to fly to
So
Michigan.
they had to make it to Michigan, and we'll
Yeah.
get to Michigan, Miss Laura.
well, they went to your hometown, so
I know. Yes, in your hometown too. Well, maybe I'm not sure, but
Close.
close. Yeah, I was born and raised there, and knew the the streets that they were talking about, and looked over at Mom, and I thought, I wonder if she heard that. She said, I heard that, and stuff. So, because she was actually born there, but not
Were you
raised.
trying to tell them where to go? Were you trying to say, no, don't turn there, don't go this way and go that way? Because
Oh no, I don't have
doing
that kind of memory. Just no. I left in 78.
Oh, okay. All right. I do find
Military.
myself doing that if they're in a town that
Yeah.
I've never been in, going, no, that's the wrong way.
Yeah.
Don't go that
Right.
way."
But so
Like
if we
thinking,
started with Black, because you're talking about Grand Rapids, that's where they went, Joby and Vic and stuff.
Yes.
That was a good one.
It was good, but it was so sad.
It was.
You know?
But that picture, you
She
guys,
met
of
her sister.
her mother.
Yeah, she met her sister and she was able
Yeah.
to see a picture of her mother. And then
They looked like twins.
yeah, she
Yeah.
found out that her mom had passed away just 3 years ago. So it wasn't even a
yeah.
long time. And another thing, go ahead, Callie, were you going to say something?
No, not at all. Yeah, just about how it takes me back, of
Yes.
course, to
Yeah.
our King Red, and it takes me back to Giselle's story and just like
Yes.
watching her just day
Yes.
after day, it's just
Yes.
the bad news, it breaks your heart,
Yeah, it
and
does.
Yeah.
that it's been really hard for me to sit back and just kind of watch this
Mhm.
unfold. She's so many family, and they're wonderful family, but like she said, I came here looking for two people, and
Yes.
the fact that those two people are gone is just
Exactly. It's hard. It's hard. Yeah. And too, she was talking about at the beginning, they always kind of give you a hint of who they might be going to find because they they tell who they really were looking for. And she was talking about, and she's talked about it before, the fact that she had placed a daughter for adoption. And
Yes.
how she was able to find that daughter, and she
They
was so
reconnected.
excited to reconnect the daughter and to be able to kind of talk to her birth mom about her feelings. They could share those feelings without giving a
that was-
baby up. And
Yeah, it was sad.
heartbreaking.
But
that's what I want to do. I want to tell my mama thank you. Yes.
Yeah. So that was just heartbreaking.
But
for her.
another part on her, and again, I think of myself growing up, there was 5 of us kids. I had 2 parents in the household, one grandparent, where she said, growing up, there wasn't anyone. I mean, she didn't have siblings or anything, and stuff. And so I don't know how to process that because that's always been around me.
It's
So
It's hard to see somebody
hear
else and
these
understand.
stories break your heart. It's really emotional. It's up and down with this show, and stuff. You get so excited, but then the sadness just breaks your, and stuff. So
I'm so glad that they could share pictures with her and she could
yes,
see that because she says, I finally have somebody I know who I look like,
Right.
Yep.
So, and that's important. That is so
Very
important.
much so.
Yes.
I
yes.
mean, talk about looking just like her mother. My gosh, that was incredible. Incredible. And she said, I finally see me in someone. And that's
Yes.
even, it's
Genetic
beautiful.
mirroring, important. Yep.
Yes.
and somebody that looks like them.
Yeah, absolutely. When you've never seen anybody that
Yeah.
looks like you,
Yeah.
and that's, I can't even imagine because I've not had that. So it's hard to imagine that. I mean, you see their emotion on TV, you see it in the episode and you feel for them. And again, I was sobbing and then, but it's hard to connect, and that's why I love when Callie, you or anybody else from the previous seasons can come on, because you understand those emotions. You absolutely been there,
Understand
done
that.
that. Yeah, you
Yep.
understand that. So
Okay.
it's got to be hard. It's got to be hard for you to watch, because it's bringing back all those emotions that you went through.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. For as far as like being able to look into the face of someone that looks like you, it's more of an affirmation that just you belong somewhere.
Yeah.
Now you
You've got a
know that
place.
you came from
Yes.
this little
Yeah.
pocket of people, you know.
Exactly. And
know.
Joby did say, I found my people.
Yeah.
She
I
said
found
that.
my place in the world. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Which means Vic has too, and they were talking about how much,
But also
but-
her daughter.
well, yes, exactly. And I'm wondering if we'll see, and somebody had posted, wouldn't it be awesome? And it might have been on our GenFriends chat. I can't remember where. Wouldn't it be awesome, one of the episodes, if a person who had given a child up for adoption had been looking and couldn't find them?
Oh gosh.
If they had that on, oh my, can you imagine if they were able to
No.
do that kind of reunion on the show? Oh my,
No, I can't.
I don't know how that would, yeah, that'd be
So
something
red
else.
that just made me. I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
That probably would be too personal. What do you think? Do you think?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Uh,
it would be pretty personal. I mean, it would depend on the people. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to give somebody the choice. But there was a show that was on for a while that they did
Yeah.
something like that, but it was
Long Lost Family or something that was
yeah,
on.
but it was very carefully curated with the third person, and they
Yeah.
didn't just like show up at the doorstep and say, "Here I am." It was
Yeah.
like
Well, and that's
like
the way it would be on.
letters were
Right.
exchanged and
Yeah.
things like
That's
that.
Long Lost Family with the letters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I love that show too.
Exactly. I think that
The
probably what
UK
they would
version. UK.
probably what they would have to do in a case like that, and I mean, I don't know, I'm not a producer on the show, but would say, if we were to find your child and the child wanted to meet you, would you be okay with that? They would have to kind of say, okay, you've got all these people you're trying to find. You never know with DNA whom we might find. So what if,
Right.
Right.
And if they're going to show up.
yeah, and just get permission that way.
I
And
don't think so. I mean, you look at the situations where a father who didn't know about the child is going to meet their child. They have had months to kind of process
Well,
it.
3 months is kind
Right,
of what I mean when
You know what I mean?
conversation.
It's not like, okay, yeah, theoretically, yeah, and then we're going to have them show up and we're going to film you and we're going to zoom in on you and we're going to put you and people at home are going to watch you on 65-inch TVs.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Yeah.
at least they have the time to process it and stuff. So
yeah,
I'm fine with that. I mean, really and truly, if people need their private moments I have one of my kids is very private. People need their moments to be private. I get that.
Exactly.
And that's fine. We don't need to share that.
No.
Perfectly happy to respect that.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And I think for the most part, Callie, the show does too. I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They're very, very respectful. There were multiple times on many fests, like multiple times where there were things about Isaac that, were
Yeah.
too personal,
Yeah, exactly.
for Pat or
Yeah.
too triggering. I'll leave it
Yeah,
at that.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like with my situation, it was that was all handled very, very respectfully and very, very carefully and very they were very gentle with me. I will put it that way. Like they are very respectful and very just professional and about.
Well, I think they allow you guys to make these decisions. And I think that's more the deal between the I'm gonna say between the parties or the family, how much or what, because you think back, some of these things, the parent or whoever had trouble with drugs or something else, and
Yeah,
this, that, and other that
Right.
the rest of the family might not know about.
that's true
Right.
too.
And so I have to give kudos to Relative Race, the producers, Dan the Man, this, that, and the other, because I think, and this is my impression, that you guys have more voice and power on some of those aspects that it's looking like it's all flowing for us, but I think you guys have input on a lot of that, you know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah,
It's not supposed to be shock TV. It's supposed to be,
Yes, it's
Yeah,
reconnecting, reuniting, and it's about
That's what-
family.
that's what makes it what it is. And that's what
Yeah.
makes it so,
Yeah.
so wonderful is
Exactly.
because it sticks to that moral high
Yeah.
ground,
yeah,
that
Yeah.
integrity of this is the focus of the show, not
It's the connect, the
right, exactly.
something very dramatic happens. They're going to do what's best for everyone involved.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
it's not, they're not here to ever embarrass anyone or take advantage of
Right.
everyone. And that's what it truly is, a family. Like when I
Yes.
say it's a family, like I just talked to one of our camera guys the other week. Like it
Yeah.
was like no time had passed, you know, you truly become family with these people.
Right.
And there's just a bond and just a rapport between us all that it's just,
Right.
they're wonderful people, and they're here to do the right thing, and that's
Mhm.
again what makes the show so special.
And it comes across, yeah.
Right.
And the
And
episodes.
it's only been one season where two guys were actually related. Do you remember that? I don't remember. There was two guys on two different teams, but they actually were cousins, you
Oh.
know. And I think it was only one time out of all the seasons
all the seasons.
far, the
Yeah.
two guys were related from
Laura, sorry, Shelly. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, Laura.
No, okay. Well, I was just going to, when we're talking about bonds, this is a kind of in the direction of what we're supposed to be doing, but green team.
Yes.
Laura Jean,
Yes, green team. I got my notes. What?
Laura Jean and Pamela, before we get to like the family, what happened, but Laura Jean and Pamela, they have such a bond.
Yes.
And such a friendship. I mean, that, you know, you do have these
Like they're
friendships.
sisters or something.
That they, I can't think of the word. I wanted to say condescend. That's not, transcend.
Yes.
Like just the friendship thing. And it is such a family. I was so touched when they were chatting, and Laura Jean, I can relate to this. Like sometimes I talk too much, and I totally can relate to this. And she's been through some rejection, and yet she trusts Pamela enough that Pamela can say rutabaga.
Yes, I loved that. That's there.
I will simmer down a little.
Yeah.
I was so touched. I thought that was the best.
That's because you could relate to that. That's why. You can relate to that.
I don't know. If my friend told me rutabaga, I might still get my feelings hurt. I'm kind of sensitive that way. But they were cool with each other and had that comfort level to rutabaga each other.
Yeah.
You know, it was just so touching, that bond. So I love that, even though it's a lot about biological family, somewhat about an adopted family, but they show this friendship.
Friendship as well. Yeah.
That you
They're
can just
besties.
well, and and Laura Jean needs that. I mean, she's been through a lot. And to have the steadfastness beside her.
Right.
You know, I just thought it was a very touching part of the storyline. I loved it.
With you. I agree with her.
Well, go ahead and let's do green then.
So let's do green. Who did she meet?
Sister.
Sister Kayla.
Sister.
Her way younger sister Kayla.
Kayla Lovelace. Yes.
Yeah. So
like 25 years difference, right?
Yeah.
25 years younger, maybe. Yeah.
But you could
That's
tell
crazy.
Wasn't going to make a bit of difference.
No.
No,
they were like, their personalities came out the same. I mean,
Oh, a lot of energy there. Yeah.
Yes, I can't even imagine the film crew.
Right.
with the two of them.
And she said, I mean, Kayla said, she goes, I'm crazy. I'm just,
Yeah.
just let you know, I'm
And
crazy.
I
I'm
thought
not
they're gonna
shy.
fit in. Yes,
Yeah.
they're gonna fit in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really
That was
sweet.
really good. That was
Yeah.
good. And that was in Tennessee they were at.
Yeah,
Listen.
and heartbreaking as she keeps telling the story about her adopted family and how her sisters have just walked away and she hasn't seen him for 10 years. And like,
Uh,
I don't even understand that.
Oh, I'm glad you said that because I don't either.
I
I
don't,
don't
I
get
don't
it.
either.
Callie, were you going to say something about that?
nothing. It was just a little bit of like a "Ugh" moment,
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
"Ugh."
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, what?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Oh,
And that
That's
was
just,
after the funeral. They just basically walked out of her life. That's how I took it.
yeah.
You know, that
So,
might not be the correct way of saying it, but
Right.
there's no
but
communication with them after the
and yeah, and
parents
I'm
died.
always hoping that, when we start out the seasons and we hear things like that, and then it kind of softens up a lot of times as they go through, we go through the season and we get
right.
the background story. So I'm kind of hoping this happens with her, but I have a feeling it might not, and that breaks my heart.
Honey,
As
she
Right.
got
adopted
her
mom, it
daddy.
breaks my
She's
heart.
happy. She
Yeah.
has
Yeah, she's
won
got her
this show
daddy.
right
She's got-
now.
right.
She
Yeah.
got daddy and
She's got a
Right.
sister.
motorcycles and fast cars.
Yes.
Got
Jenny.
Pam and her rutabaga.
That's right. Exactly. She's good. Jenny, what
fair.
were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say it's also kind of a bittersweet thing for her because you can tell she's still grieving, that she's,
The
what
loss.
what if I had been raised by my daddy? What if I had all these people she's meeting? I could see she's
Yes.
saying, I was alone, I felt alone my whole life and I
Yeah.
could have had this. And it's
Right.
like, that's a whole
Especially
thing she's
after
got to
her,
go
yeah,
through.
yeah. I mean, she talked about being really, really close to her father, her
Yeah.
adoptive father, and her brother. So it really wasn't until after they died that, and her mom, her adoptive mom, who she felt like didn't want her to go find family. It wasn't that she didn't get along with her; she just felt like she didn't want her to do it. And so, but once they had all passed away, that's when the sisters apparently, she hasn't seen them since that
And
time.
again, there might be a whole nother side that we don't know about.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing. We
Yeah,
we don't
right.
know. And
it's
so-
heartbreaking for what
Yeah.
we're seeing, but we're
Right.
also only seeing one side.
Right. Exactly. And that's why I'm hoping that maybe things will soften up a little bit somehow as we go through the season because
Yeah.
Or at least over time.
well,
Even if we
on day one, you remember when we talked about day one and we kept saying, I'm so mad that happened. I'm so mad at that story. And Thaddeus was
Yeah.
on one. He was on one, Callie, about how
Yes.
mad he was about things with this season. And then he calmed down.
Right.
So
Okay,
as
Blue.
the story progressed, that's what happens. Oh, Team Blue. Who wants to start with Team Blue?
Oh, Daniel
Yeah.
on day 4 again meets another relative and he meets Uncle Dave on his
Yes.
father's
Father's side.
But
Yes.
did
That
you
looks
guys?
exactly like his
Yes.
brother.
thank you. Thank you. That's what my
No,
husband and
that's
I
what
thought.
we talked about.
Congratulations. Oh,
And it
John.
wasn't, and it was his dad's brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I thought for sure that was what Jonathan,
Right.
Me
that-
too. When they walked up, I thought, oh, good. Somebody for Jonathan.
Oh.
Nice, Daniel.
So I'm hoping next week is Jonathan's time.
We are
I
all
hope
going to jump for
so.
joy. You know
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Because he's doing a really good job of supporting his brother, but you can see it in his face.
But it hurts. It
You
hurts.
can see it like,
Yes.
I know what that feels like.
Yes, you do
Yeah.
know what
He's
that
happy
feels like.
for him, but he's
Awful,
he's
but at
got
the
that same.
time, you're so excited and you're so happy. I love the little grin he gets when he's watching them embrace for the first time.
Yes.
Little grin and he looks down a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I just feel I want to go through the TV screen and give him a hug and
Give
say,
him a hug.
hang in there,
Yeah.
hang in there, hang in there.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I mean, but
I'll be
will
anti.
they give him any hints to say, don't worry,
No.
things are gonna, Kelly, would they do that? Not at all. Probably.
Well, no. No,
Yeah, you would know that. You would know. I
it
just
was
feel,
me, but
yeah, I
no.
feel bad for him, but I do understand a lot of times this happens because of the way they have to progress through the days and travel and things like that. They can't go back and forth.
Right.
Yeah.
That's also another thing, like the
Yeah.
schedule, who can be where and when, and
Mhm.
right.
And beyond that, there was like a sister theme last night.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
it's like
All sisters and one uncle. Yeah, so they
Yes.
each found a sibling. It's just
That's
that one
right.
was a sibling to the brother, to the father.
Yeah, right.
So he was an
Oh,
uncle.
that's
But
right. They were all on the, well, no,
they were
because
sisters except
Josie
for,
was sister on the mom's side.
yeah,
Josie,
I'm just saying they all found
Kathy.
a sibling of some kind.
Yes.
So you're a sister or an uncle because he was the brother of the dad. So if you're going to stretch
Right.
it, it
Yeah.
could have been sibling week, right?
You
So,
made
But-
it around. You made it around.
in a
You made it
roundabout way.
But-
Exactly.
Daniel's daddy's alive.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
I
So
took notes,
I
Laura.
can't wait to see this guy
yeah,
Yeah.
and hear his story and all
Yeah.
that. So
and
I'm
hear
sure
his voice. I want to know
I
if
think
they
his
sound
dad's
alike.
name is Steve.
If they sound alike, yeah.
if they sound alike, yes,
I wanna know if
yes.
they sound alike. Yeah, and they just brushed over that little fact that his name was Steve. Did anybody else feel that
Yeah.
way? They're like, "Yep, this
Yeah.
is me and Steve." I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So he knows his dad's name,
And
right?
he's
Right.
seen the picture.
Right, and he's still got lots of siblings. I'm wondering if when it was only day 4. We got a ways to go. I wonder if the rest of the siblings maybe they'll do some kind of backyard party where everybody's there and gets
I
to
hope
meet them.
so."
Because
Yeah,
they can't do that every day or poor,
right.
there's no way you can get both of them to meet people if he's going to meet a sibling a day. It's not going to work. So,
Right.
Well, and again,
and
it
the
could-
dad
what we
those days.
see next week, we don't know where the movement's going to be.
Yeah,
exactly,
Remember,
because it
Black
could be
Team
like
has
all
been
was in one
doing-
state and then
Yes.
they're going to go to a different state.
Yeah.
exactly. But
That
again,
they couldn't.
I
They could have
don't-
flown them into
yeah.
an Airbnb. I
Of
don't
course
know.
they could. Of course they
Yeah.
could. But I
Yeah.
do always like to warn people, if you don't want to get any hint of who they're meeting the next, don't go on to BYU TV and read the caption, the little
Yeah.
information for the next week, and
Right.
don't look at the pictures. Don't go on there because
Yeah.
you'll see
I
them
like
hugging somebody.
spoilers.
Yeah,
I
you
like spoilers.
So, and they're
Okay.
worse. They're getting worse and worse with those spoilers. And
I think so, too.
combined.
Well, and
Yeah.
it's we're seeing actual video clips
Yeah.
because like the one that met her dad, I'm going blank. Laura, when she
Uh-huh.
met her dad,
Yeah.
the clip was I had already saw the clip and I
And so I
thought,
already knew she was going to meet her
wait a
dad. Yeah.
minute.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was her dad, but I knew it was a man.
Yeah.
You know. And
Yeah.
I thought, oh,
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
that hey, relative race. No
Stop
spoil-
doing that.
Don't do that. You
You
know.
tell him, Callie. You reach out and tell him, and we said to stop.
I'll tell him.
GenFriends said to stop
I'll
because
tell
we
him,
like
take
the
it down.
surprise. We like
I'll
the
tell him.
surprise. Yeah, we like the surprise of it all. Right.
The
Right.
whole thing is the element of surprise.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, let's move on to Team Red.
Red.
That was so much fun again.
Red was fun. That
Yes.
was kind of hard. That was hard too this week.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was another hard one, but I love that Camille found her sister.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, she didn't think she wanted to know anything about her father's family, and now she's found a brother and a sister, through her dad. And so, and I
And
love her
Daddy's
saying,
still
and
alive too.
yeah,
Daddy is still
yes,
alive.
that's another one. And I thought it was sweet that she said, I just want to see her every day. So I see somebody, I can see my face in her face. Oh,
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah,
so-
it's just very sweet. She kept saying, she
Yeah.
had said it so many times. I have a little sister. I have a little
Yes,
sister.
I
She just kept
know.
saying it.
I
It's
know.
very, very sweet. Very sweet.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
I think she looked like her grandmother.
Her grandmother very much so. Yeah.
The
In
one
the
that had
pictures,
just
she
passed away a
favored
year
the
ago.
grandmother.
Yeah.
Yeah. And her saying, that's what was so sad, is her saying, if
Yeah.
I'd have done this journey last year, I would have been able to meet my grandmother. Just
Well,
so
there's got to be
sad.
some fear in this too, and rejection, and those
Yeah.
go through somewhat of a process, I'm sure.
Right. And we don't
Yeah.
know how long ago she applied to even, how long it took to get
Right.
her,
Sure.
And that's the risk you take, is
Yeah.
that people, even younger people, just pass away, and there's,
Right?
there's just nothing you can do about it. It's not like,
Okay, quick question.
yeah.
And we didn't respond to it in the beginning.
What's
On
that?
the challenge, is that going in the book or not?
I think we could.
Oh.
I think maybe I wanted to put the pickle challenge in there because I thought kids would like that.
But the parents that
Yeah,
are
but-
cleaning up their puke is not gonna like it.
Right.
I'm not
We could have a-
eating
we could have
a
a
pickle
pizza.
with a banana
Maybe
in
you
it
could
or
fill
peanut
it with
butter.
something else.
Toothpaste.
Yeah.
Like,
Totally disgusting.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Disgusting.
Well, the four might work, but coming up with the pieces and the parts to put together might be kind of hard, but I think it might work. It would work if you did it out on the grass, and just had teams doing that.
So they could have a
physical
bucket
part.
on the side.
Oh, you mean for the pickles? Yeah, they could have a
No,
bucket.
for the stomach flipping.
I think that one would work. It would just take a lot of planning to put that in the
I just wouldn't put the
in the
ingredients they put in there.
mystical, magical, non-existent book. You can put it in there.
That's the thing we do,
think
Callie.
the
We talk about
building-
No,
what-
I know. I follow along. Just go in the book without. You do have some good ones in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if only we could just get it together, that would be really fun. And I
Well,
think
it's
at this
recorded,
point,
so at least
they're
we
just-
know.
they're just laughing at us. They're like, we're not putting any.
I
books
know.
What I did love, and y'all probably talked about it, is I can't even remember what team did it. Because the grass was too thick to use the pool cue.
Oh my gosh, we didn't
Great.
talk about the tools that they had to use. They
Yeah.
didn't use any
Nice.
golf clubs. Yeah, that was Team Green where
Oh.
she hit it on the ground.
Green, wasn't that green?
That was
Yeah,
like-
that's good.
Grass is too thick to use it as intended. So
Yeah, so yeah, that was really funny. That was
Yeah.
really funny. The different things they had to use to try to get that ball down the grass. So
Yeah.
very, very
And
funny.
it's just very hard to make fair when you're doing 4 different fields and 4 different places
Yes.
yeah,
Right.
I felt the
and
same
4
way.
different weather systems. And oh my
Right,
gosh.
right.
Don't even get me
But-
started on the weather. Ugh.
Yeah, but then again, had they been able to choose instead of Team Red choosing, they probably wouldn't have chosen physical because it was wet.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm probably jumping the gun here, but I'm so excited for what they have to do next week with the ice cream.
Oh,
I
yep.
can see it. I
That's
And
can
do we know what it is?
all we know. Well,
Yes.
All we know is
Callie-
ice cream.
Kelly probably knows what's going to happen.
No, it is.
No.
They said it on it.
They
that
don't. Yeah. The team that won, which was Team Red,
Something about ice cream.
they don't have to get the ice cream. They don't have to look for ice. All they said was they don't have to look
yes,
for
and they
ice
can't
cream.
go to a gas station to get ice cream. So they have to go
Yes.
to an ice cream parlor, or they'll have to
Yes.
go into a convenience.
A grocery store. You can find ice cream at CVS.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so-
that just means they
And
get.
does it have to be a single serve, or can they just get a
I don't
gallon?
know. I guess we'll find out.
I don't know. There are probably major conditions, but I'm very much excited for that one.
That's going to be interesting to
That
see
one's
how
gonna
that
be
works. And that's going to really save time for Team Red because they're not going to have to do that, fighting for ice cream because it's all going to depend on how
So, yeah, right.
how-
Let's talk about these
yeah.
rules. Wait, you go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
The
and get
serve.
Can you go through the drive?
No, you don't. You know what? The McDonald's soft serve machine is
It's
the
always
most likely
broken.
to be
Always
out of
broken.
order machine in the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
I don't need it.
You're
Well,
right.
ours is always broken here, so
Yeah.
They're always broken everywhere.
Everywhere,
It's
everywhere.
literally the most likely thing to break in a restaurant
Yeah.
in the United States. It's the
Exactly.
McDonald's soft serve.
So I think that's a fun little twist. I think that's great. But as we go and do talk about the results, and first of all, the whole getting together and talking and introducing relatives is just the coolest thing ever. It's the
Yeah.
pride and the joy as they are
Yes.
introducing their relatives and all the teams cheering for them. Everybody's just they're so excited for everybody. And that's true. That's not
Yeah.
I can't imagine them saying, okay, let's take another take and this time actually act like you're excited.
Right. Yeah. No, that does
Yeah.
not happen. I promise you.
Yeah. So that's true joy to see that. I love that so much. And I love that that's not something that they've taken out, that they've kept that. And it seems to be getting longer and better every season,
Mhm.
and I love that they can do that without Dan standing there, that they can really have a conversation. And then he walks in and it's all that cute. Dan! I think that's really cute.
Man
But
to man.
so and remember Team Black is trying to get out of that hole. And
Yes.
yeah.
Well, they're out of it right now.
They're out now because they were able to beat
Two teams.
Two teams and get out. So that must have felt so
Yeah.
good to see
I'm
those
actually
results.
proud of them too.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah, because that's a lot of stress, like you said, Callie, that's a lot of stress to have
Yeah.
to worry about because, and there have been times when
We
we
were
didn't
going home.
Yeah.
on-
Yeah.
And that's where I'm kind of like, of these new rules in that respect, because I'm like, oh my gosh, the stress that is taken
Yes.
off of their shoulders.
Yes.
Because this happened with Team Red last season
Yeah.
as well. They were,
Yeah.
I mean, they should have gone home on day 4.
Yeah,
They
and
had-
we didn't know, and we didn't know what any of it meant.
Nobody knew. It was
Nobody
like
knew.
Right.
it was insane.
I think we spent most of each shows talking about what is happening. We don't understand. This is our theory.
We don't get it.
Right.
We didn't get it. And so we kept asking the viewers, if you understand it, let us know.
Let us know.
We're in the dark. We're in the dark. We don't know. So luckily, they get up they beat 2 teams. And so of course, then they will actually do all the times, to see who's first, second, third, fourth. And so there's Team Red again. Like we said, this is their 3rd win, 3
Yeah.
in a row. So they've found their groove, they're
Right.
doing really well. They're doing really well. And just that choice of them not having to get ice cream. Although tweeting last night, I said, I'll take their ice cream.
Yeah.
And give it to me. They can give it to me. Yeah. So
Right.
I
And
can't wait
also
to
think
hear.
about depending on where they're going as well. I'm just looking back that they're, New Orleans in the South, I feel like you're going to be able to find it easier
Maybe.
in the South than you would
Yeah.
Michigan, even in the summer in Michigan, but
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's going to depend on how they come into town too. The roads that take them
Right.
in. Some might just drive right in and go, oh, there's an ice cream place right there, where
Oh,
some
I-
have to be
I
driving
like
round and round trying to find it, So it's
Mhm.
all going to, like you said, so it's going to depend on what town they're going to. Is it a town that even has, is it a
Right.
2-lane little town, or is it, a
Right.
town where they can find the ice cream? So
And do they have to stop when they get into town, or they can't get it? Like, ask the family they're staying with, like, where's
No,
the
they
best
have to
place?
get it before the challenge, right?
Before the
Yeah.
challenge.
yeah.
Well, when they leave the town is before the challenge. I just didn't know if it
Oh,
had to be directly before.
Hey,
That's
Laura.
interesting. Laura's trying to cheat. So
I'm looking
Find
for
that
a
loophole.
loophole.
a
Yes, I
loophole,
love a loophole.
anything to get that time down from having to get the ice cream. And will they have to eat it before they can go?
I was wondering that too. Are they going to have to
Yeah.
eat it?
Because
Oh,
I
I
can
get ice
imagine
cream
them.
headaches. I wouldn't get the gallon then.
Oh, the freeze
Well,
headache.
because they're not going to want them to have ice cream in those brand new relative race cars to melt.
Oh, serve them right.
Right?
So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how this plays out. So fun. So fun.
Absolutely.
Any predictions from anybody for day 5? What do you think?
Oh, let's see. I
Well,
think daddies are going to appear.
Daddy's going to appear,
And
maybe.
we know 2 daddies that are alive.
I really want
So
Jonathan
there'll
to
be
be
some,
somebody.
maybe not
Oh,
next week.
I
I
think I'll
think there's
just.
going to be someone for Johnny.
I
Mhm.
Yeah,
hope so.
I
I will
hope
just
so.
cry for him. Just.
I think the fans will rebel.
I think so too. I think so
Yeah.
too.
They know.
Somebody's just
Yeah.
going to show up and pretend to be his dad. Like,
I know,
I'm
right?
sick of you not having family.
Daddy. That's so
So I
funny.
do have a question for Callie.
Yes,
Good.
ma'am.
After the show, and we're in a couple other seasons and this, that, and
Uh-huh.
other, and you watched it before you were on there somewhat. How do you like looking back at yourself?
I
mean,
because
that
I love to
experience.
try every single
Okay.
episode. I'm not, I don't love it, but what I do love, anytime that I do go back and I watch, um, I I catch something new from either our
Okay.
journey or from our teammates' journeys, and
Yeah.
I love to watch the camaraderie. It was such a special time.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
was such a really
Yeah.
special time with these
Yes.
people, and
Yeah.
um what you see is really what happens, you know. But yeah, as far as going back and watching myself, I love watching me. I love watching myself ugly cry.
Ugly. Aw.
Are
And I
the
have
kids
a
old
10
enough to know
episode.
that's Mama on the screen?
Yo, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at first they called it, my oldest called it the Uncle Pat show. And he's like, "Oh, are we gonna go? Are we going over? Are they coming over to watch the Uncle Pat show?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're gonna watch the Uncle Pat
Aw.
That's
but
hysterical.
yeah, no, now our little one, and anytime he sees it, he points and he goes, "That's mommy. It's Mommy's show." So
Yeah.
Aw.
That's
Speaking
sweet.
of Uncle Pat, how is he doing?
really great, really
Good.
great. Yes, absolutely. They're back and forth in Oshkosh every other
Yeah.
weekend. And
Wow.
yep. Oh yeah. Yep.
That,
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
that
Driving
is
as a
awesome.
Reichenberger. Yeah. Yeah. He's
Yeah.
loving it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
And
it'll be interesting to see that, Team Blue is in last place. So what's going
Yeah.
to happen with
yeah, what's
that?
going
I
to happen
mean,
with them? Can they get out of last place, or will they be stuck there for a while? Right.
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
Yep.
And
yeah.
and then of course I'm just excited about what the day 6 benefit will be because they've come up with such great ideas. They're so different.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I love that they're different.
Yeah.
Laura, you're muted.
What is the philosophy of rewarding the top team so they can keep being the top team? Is it that it makes the other teams fight even harder? Or is it separating the sheep from the goats? I mean, what is the philosophy here? I never have quite got why.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I guess we're
I mean,
definitely
it's not
gonna
a
see-
long-term benefit. It's a short-term, that you are going to
Yeah.
win another day, which I guess translates into a long-term.
Yeah,
But
this time it's going to make difference because they said that it will make a difference on day 10. So even if it just kept you out of going home before, right? Now there's going to be a definite benefit on.
yeah, I just don't quite understand like what the thinking behind it is. Like,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
when Dan the man
So-
comes on, we can ask.
Yeah.
When Dan the man comes on. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We'll ask him. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, anything else that we may have missed or?
I think we got everything.
Yeah.
Everything in my notes.
I start taking notes because Laura does so well at it. Mary does too, though. Let's
Yeah.
not leave Mary out.
Yeah, and Mary
What?
does all the extra research, but she's in Salt Lake researching. Yeah, that's where she is tonight.
He's
So
probably making an 18-generation plan for Johnny or something. That's going to be the reveal. We're going to be shocked. There's Mary going to
He's
be on the
usually
show.
one step ahead of relative race on these
she really
families.
is. She really is. Well,
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody coming and talking about
Thank
Dave. Kelly, thank you so much. And you're
Thanks for
always
having
welcome.
me.
You're always welcome. We love having you
Yes.
on. So just appreciate it. We just
I
appreciate
appreciate you. Thank you so much. This is always so much fun with you guys.
it.
Thank you.
All righty. And with
Thank you.
that, we will see you next time on GenFriends as we talk about what is going on with the ice cream on day 5. Bye, everybody. See you next
Bye-bye.
time on GenFriends.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.